Hey guys, I am Caleb Holland and this is the Group Sessions podcast. We are here with some special people today, some special guests. We have Joshua Holland.
Hey guys.
We have Paul Gatingu.
Gatingu, my guy. Gatingu.
Oh, slap. He's back. It's alright. It's alright. And then we have nothing but the one and only Finnick Dedrick, boy.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome
Someone
to
drop
the
a
podcast.
bomb. Caleb, just add a bomb somewhere.
Yeah, like a bomb effect. Yeah, no, facts.
Add a bomb somewhere.
No, for real though, because last week Finnick was on the podcast. We had an amazing time. Very, very insightful. If you guys haven't heard Honesty, the best policy, you guys gotta go hear that. It's just, talking about us being honest with ourselves and us being honest with others for us to be able to move forward. And it was very, very insightful. Go listen to that. And now, today, because, lockdown is happening and we can't be outside, we aren't just communicating with everybody. We are inside. So our communication skills needs to be stepped up. Some of your communication skills need to be stepped up, bruv. This blue tick thing, this delivered tick thing is not it, bruv. Y'all need to learn how to communicate, and that's why we are. That's why we
might as well
this
title
session.
this. Just title this Paul Gatingu, bruh. Title it, bruh. Call me out, dog. Call me out.
That's like a bad at communicating. Nah, but for real though, today we learn how to communicate, and we're talking about how communication kills confusion. It prevents confusion, because when we're able to communicate with others and we clearly expressing how we're feeling or what the situation is, we aren't sugarcoating things, we aren't beating around the bush, we are communicating. And that's what we're talking about in today. And it actually ties in very well with last week's session, because we spoke on how important honesty is. And in order for us to be honest with ourselves, we have to communicate with ourselves. And in order for us to be honest with other people, we need to learn how to communicate with other people. So this is really, really hand in hand. Bad communication is a rookie move. Bad communication is a rookie move. How are you gonna allow bad communication? No, how are you gonna allow bad communication to hold you back? That's the question. How are you gonna allow? Because you have so much to do, you have so much to discover, but you're gonna allow something like bad communication to hold you back.
In fact,
That's
it's childish. Yeah.
It's childish things. It's small things, bruv. It's small things, Nah, guys. We are growing. We have bigger things to do. We have to be on the PJ together right now. And you think us being on the PJ together and y'all here sitting around with bad communication? Listen, your couples are out
PJ?
here. A private jet, Joshua.
Oh, sorry. No, I was like, I'm confused. And what about the listeners? And then I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about pajamas. And then I was like,
no question is a dumb question, bro. No question is a dumb question.
Yes.
You see, we're trying to be on the PJ, guys, for real. And how do you expect us to be on the private jets? You must remember, couples are out here building empires together. And y'all are out here arguing about who's texting first, bruv.
Oh,
They are building empires and you arguing about who's texting first, bruv. Nah, bruv, that's childish games,
You
man.
can't even communicate properly what you want at the McDonald's.
Aye.
By the way, this Friday when the episode releases, which is actually today, we move to level 4 and fast food is open. So you need to be able to communicate what you want from McDonald's. You need to communicate with the delivery company. How are you supposed to do these big things if you can't communicate what you want?
But you need to
what's your order?
understand, Josh, I get you 100%, but there's an issue because, in this day and age, you have the lovely and wonderful app called Uber Eats, where it gives us a menu. You don't have menus with people. You can't hit it.
No, it's because Paul doesn't like to communicate.
Yeah, really.
He
you see, the
rather
thing
orders
is,
through
bro.
a phone than goes down.
But you see, that's the thing. Like, not communicating with people and having to do things through our phones, it just hinders our ability to communicate effectively, bro.
Exactly.
No, but let's run it back
Exactly
quickly.
that.
Let's run it back. I was just saying how, in terms of like, we have this thing, we're able to now, once lockdown has moved to level 4, we're able to now,
Yeah.
order food through our phones, Uber Eats. Because we're so locked up on this phone that we now automatically think we're going to treat people like it's Uber Eats, dog. You just input output. They feel, no, think about this.
But it's
People
true
start
though,
using
it's
one
true
another.
though,
It's a
yeah.
truth. You'll message
Yeah.
someone and be like, yo, I just need this.
Yeah.
No, communication is key. You can't just communicate when you need the person.
Yeah.
Communicate
Listen,
at
y'all,
all.
listen. When y'all going up, you all at the till, you are paying for something, or I don't know, you're going to the back of the store to get some bread, bruv, from the bakery. You know what I'm saying, bruv? First thing, bruv,
Some
don't
buns.
just be going up and asking for a dozen round white rolls, bruv.
Man,
Nah,
you
nah,
say
nah.
good
You need to
morning.
start out
You ask
saying,
them how do you
hello.
How you doing?
Good. And then
Good
you
morning,
wait for
good
the reply.
afternoon.
It's not like an opening line. Hello, how are you? Can I have white rolls? No, you
This
say
is
hello.
even in your
how
own
are
mother's
you?
house.
Wait for a response, then ask for your buns.
Colin, even
Y'all-
in our own mother's house, we can't even say it like that. We can't even walk up to our mom
No,
and just
bruh.
start talking. You say good morning.
Good morning, bruv.
Goeiemorgen, good morning. Yeah.
Nah, bro. The point is, it's very important that we greet before we speak to people and just demand things. Okay, like Finnick was saying, is that, with social media and the fact that we can just text however we want, people lack communication skills in person. And I was
Yeah.
saying, like, I even tweeted this morning how people are only as tough as their phone allows them to be. Those people, they be behind their
sure.
phones, tweeting this, texting this, acting all tough. But when it comes now to being in person, and now all of a sudden you're on as tough, or all of a sudden you can't communicate, or you can't flirt the way you do. or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, have you ever seen somebody sitting there with a straight face and then they're putting laughing emojis? I'm like, hi, 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 hi. Or you
This
know
is
what
what
they
I-
do now? They put the text there and then they're like, ooh, this is a bit heavy. Laughing emoji, send. Hi.
Dog,
Now I be
don't get me
throwing
started.
you
Mixed
I be throwing
signals, bro.
LOLs at the end of my facts, bruh. Like I be throwing LOLs at the end of my sentences so it doesn't sound too harsh.
Yeah.
But I be saying directly what I wanna say, bro. Then I hit you out with LOL at the end.
Lol,
Nah,
just
be like
kidding.
that, bro.
No. But I feel like the issue is
SMH.
here, like when exactly SMH.
That's it. Shaking my head.
What were you gonna say, bro?
Oh my word! I was
Yeah.
I went off tangent. Run it back. Someone was talking about something. I can't even remember now. See,
I was
communication.
just talking about the whole texting thing, bro. The whole communication.
Oh, I was
the
saying,
texting
okay, I
thing.
remember what I was saying. I was saying that for me personally, I found it that, like, people who've met me, who have engaged with me, who have, like, talked to me, and I'm even sure Shane can actually even see now. I like talking, I'm extroverted, I'll laugh with you guys, crack a few jokes. I've got a very loud personality.
Yeah.
But like sometimes, your text cannot communicate that. And I'm not saying that every person has to be consistent as they are in real life over text. I'm just saying there's something in communication, as long as it's clear. And no communication doesn't count, is also communication as well. It communicates that you don't care about the relationship.
Yeah,
If you
for
don't
sure.
communicate, if you don't, no
Exactly.
communication is communication. If you don't decide just to
Facts.
disappear, and honestly, I'll understand. Like for me, I've been someone to just dip. Last
Oh,
week I
we know.
dipped. Y'all niggas know I dipped last week for reasons that may be my own. But
Yeah.
once you literally come out of it, you realize that first of all, your first mistake is you didn't say anything. How can you blame
Yeah.
someone else for not helping you if you didn't even ask for it?
Yeah.
Not even
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to sit back for that one.
I think one of the things texts don't have is the body language part of it, because body language is actually
sure.
part of your communication.
Yeah.
Like what your expression is or the way you're standing. It shows it's part of communication, and that's why I think they brought emojis into texting. But whoosh,
Yeah.
it
Faulty
can also
move.
be
Faulty move.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like,
Emoji.
essentially, essentially we communicate in order to understand, right? And that if that's the primary purpose of communication, then I think it's safe to say, like Paul said, if you don't communicate with someone, it means that you're not interested in them or you're not willing to understand them.
Sure.
So yeah,
Sure.
and just like Joshua was saying, that body language is important. In text you can't hear someone's tone, and then you think, okay, you get like completely mixed signals. So yeah, I prefer like calling or even video calling. Text.
Definitely
I don't like messing with
FaceTime.
text, bro.
I prefer FaceTime over text, and obviously meeting in person over FaceTime. Because the thing is, do you know how many people don't understand my sarcasm? Like, y'all are my close friends, so y'all understand my sarcasm. Like, I can be really rude and really bad when I'm sarcastic. But the thing is, y'all know that I'm just fooling around and like, don't take me serious. I'm just being sarcastic now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, other people don't know that. So I always have to be subtle. I mean, there's been people that were like, if I started off the bat, when I started talking to them, being sarcastic the way I am, they would have not interacted with me. They would have thought I was just a rude guy and brushed me off, right? Compared to now, okay, now you got to be subtle. And then you can bring out that other side of you.
The real
where,
deal.
Yeah.
1990.
Hey, Josh is the guy that makes ad-libs in our group. I think he is the ad-lib guy in the Migos group, in our Many Migos group, yeah. Because
I'm telling you, bro.
ad-libs, they're in the background. But, one thing that I wanted to touch on definitely is how knowledge is intimacy. Perfect. Intimacy isn't physical touch or sex. Ooh. It isn't that. It is knowledge. Perfect. Because the more I let you know, the more intimate we become, right? The more information that I give you about myself and who I am, and you see other sides of me, that creates intimacy. So, I find it so amusing that people will be at a Starbucks they get together, have a cup of coffee over at Starbucks, and then they're sharing their whole life story, their whole divorce, everything, but they haven't even seen the back of each other's heads.
What if the barber did them dirty at the back and you telling them the story? And the haircut says a lot, If that line is not straight, aye.
But the point is, the thing is, it's like you're sharing, oh my word, we got divorced, and then this happened,
can we just...
this happened. But you haven't
I just want to, 1 second, I got two things I have to mention. First of all, Caleb, you're speaking about such a powerful topic.
I know, Paul, I know.
Don't even get me started.
I am
Second
Caleb
one,
Arden, Paul.
Joshua, hold that barbershop topic, bruh. Hold it tightly. Next to you, dog. We're coming back for that one. We're coming back.
Especially this lockdown. Especially this
Dude,
lockdown. That's
okay, hold it.
Very
hold
important.
it. Nah, just keep it locked and key. We have to deal with this one first. I've got a hectic statement. First of all, let me just say this. Coronavirus it was engineered against black people going to the barbers. I'm telling you, I'm just saying, okay, we're just gonna switch.
Paul,
switch
you're
up.
gonna get us arrested.
They don't want us to get...
This guy wants... You see, this guy's gonna want to get us arrested out here with this conspiracy theories. You're on the podcast. This guy's gonna get us arrested, bro. It's only good... So they come to our house and...
Sorry.
Nah, Paul. Nah.
I was dying yesterday, bruh. This guy was saying that... I literally wrote it down in my notes. Like, when you watch a video and you just like, this, I have to write it down. Like, this is just... Oh, my word. These guys were saying the craziest things. I don't think it was Zach Fox. He was saying how, they don't want us to go get a line up, but they want us to line up in the grocery store. Had me sent, dog.
That's about a fool.
We can't even go get a fade, but they want us to just fade out of existence. What?
And then you in the line there at the shops, and you're in the line, the person behind you can see your fade. Hey.
Dude, it looks like someone took a hot spatula to my forehead, dog. It's not lined up, dog. It's not lined up. I can't think of the beanie, dog.
You know what, Paul? That's embarrassing, bro. That's embarrassing.
Okay, let's reel it in.
Let's reel it in. Let's reel it in to the topic of
Communication.
communication.
Go back. Just wanted to make you
But
guys
like-
laugh.
No, but that's actually important because a haircut also
Oh,
says a
my
lot.
Your
Yeah,
appearance
haircut
is
is a form of
communication.
communication.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Guys,
How you show up?
Guys, a haircut is a form of communication, bro. It tells the ladies that you care about yourself.
Yes.
That's what it's communicating to them. You groom yourself, you care about
You're a man
yourself.
of detail.
A haircut, a fade is important.
For sure.
Exactly, man. Trim that
Holland, I'm
beard.
telling you.
Look good.
Once lockdown is over, I'm getting a fade 3 times a week. I'm getting myself trimmed up 3 times a week. 3 times. I
Look neat, bro.
refuse.
Communicate that to the woman, boy.
We cannot be looking.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy how we able to take something like going way off topic into talking about a haircut, and then we come back and we're like, nah, a haircut is a
telling you.
form of communication.
It is a form of communication.
But you see, that's the thing, bro. That's the
Because
thing about a
we-
haircut, right? You see, everything we as men, and I was telling Caleb, everything us as men, right? Everything that we do is for women, bro.
Absolutely.
Everything we do is for women.
Facts.
But before we
Facts.
buy a shoe, we think, okay, what type of guy would buy this shoe? What type of woman would like this guy with this shoe?
Perfect.
We get a fade. We know it has to be right
Exactly.
because we know women like this type of fade. Everything a man does, bruh.
Exactly.
I'm actually going to take you
Round
up
the
on that.
world.
What you were saying right there, that was actually powerful. You know, considering now that people are sitting at home, they're not even going out. People have lost that ability to take care of themselves because they have no one to show it off to.
No one is getting
I'm
cuffed.
telling you. That's a whole.
There's no communication.
I'm telling you, just because you don't have anyone to
Look,
show
no,
off
no,
to
no, no.
doesn't
I
mean
don't
you
know
can't
about y'all.
look good
I
for
don't know about
yourself.
y'all, but I have a quarantine babe. I made sure before I came into this quarantine that I have a quarantine babe.
Oh, so that's how you're practicing your
For real,
communication,
for real.
yeah?
So, yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're communicating on the
gosh.
regular, you know? I said, you know what, listen, you're going to be my quarantine babe. Then when summer comes and this is all over, I'm out for a hot boy summer. I'm going to say deuces. But you're my quarantine babe.
Hey,
Just
man
for
was
this
clear.
Period.
Clear communication.
clear.
You
I
see, this is what I'm
communicated
talking
it.
about. Clear communication.
Honesty
Yeah,
is
bruh.
the best
Communication.
policy. We spoke about it in the last
Nah,
been
bruh,
podcast.
saying.
nah, I had to be honest with her. I had to say, no, shorty, babes, listen, let's be quarantine babes. I know you're gonna be lonely, you know. You're gonna want to, you know, have someone to talk to on the regular, you know, I don't know, some Netflix party, whatever. So I said, okay, say less. Say less.
Guys, don't be
Say
fooled
less,
by
for
this
real, for real.
this character. This is just Caleb's alter ego. This is alter ego
Ah.
speaking.
Yeah, it's actually true.
Facts, facts.
That's
As I
true.
say, only the real people, the people close to me, they know the side of me, man.
That's
They
true.
they
That's
know that
true.
I'm actually a nice guy. I'm
We're
genuine.
good
for real,
gents.
for
We're
real.
good gents. We're good gents. Stand up gents. You know, top tier. You know,
Top
Auntie's
tier, we are
favorite boy.
gentlemen. We are gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Nah. We are Martin Luther Kings out here. For
I'm
real,
telling
for
you.
real. We gentlemen.
What our aunties called us, young men. You know, young men. We're not even young anymore, boys. We might be a little young,
Man,
but
we
still,
might-
eh?
But I gotta ask you guys a question though, right? Before sharing information, people, like for you personally, right? In everybody's personal life, right? You know, it's so important that people are qualified to know certain information, right? So before we let people know information,
What do
they
you
need
look
to be qualified for it.
I don't think any. I think first of all, how you show up in a conversation with someone. If you are brand new, like you just never met them before, this is a new person. You've just met him through a friend of a friend, or whatever the scenario is. First of all, just making sure that you show up as your true, honest self will, even if that person isn't used to ever seeing other people show up as honest and as themselves and as true and bubbly and just, you are Caleb, like you are completely just being who you are in the conversation. When you are honest about that, you don't have to share all your information, but when you're honest about that, someone else can pick it up. Someone else can now realize that you're being true to them and they can be true to you too. And then when you can see that back and forth, then you can be able to start like sharing certain things. But it's all a matter of just having an open heart and an open hand at first. And sometimes you'll find that people are gonna bite your hand, bruh.
Yeah.
They're gonna smack your hand. They're gonna be
Yes, I
rude. They're
don't
gonna
give
be
a
all up in your business. But more often than not, you'll find that that actually is well received, and people love that. So
Yeah.
that's something I've been practicing, just to show up as who I am, and just not trying to front as this type of person. Just if I'm loud and bubbly, I'm loud and bubbly. I'm coming as I am. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
I feel
I'm
him.
not gonna
Yeah.
pretend like I'm this, like I'm. Okay, that's a whole nother story. That's a story for another day.
I'm gonna take it back
Yeah, now
to
we'll
what
talk
Caleb
about
was
some
saying
shit.
about communication. He said that communication is an exchange of information, right? And then also going back to what Joshua said, because body language is also a form of communication, you have to be aware of
Mm,
how you are receiving information and how you are
inform-
sharing
mm,
information.
mm,
So
mm,
and that ultimately I think sets your intention for whatever the conversation is going to be about, and where the conversation
mm,
will be leading
Mm.
up to. So yeah, just like the
Yeah.
words are important, like Joshua said, the
mm,
body language is important as well.
mm. And Shane, just on what you were
Exactly.
saying, in terms of like just for people listening, I think that everyone can apply what I'm about to say into any like scenario that they've been into. Whether you're with your friend, whether you're with your mother, whether you're with your sibling, whoever you're with, whether or not you have a relationship with them, starting off, the way you receive something
Yeah,
impacts how the other person is going to output whatever they're going to say. Because the way they can see you intake will determine whether or not they want to even say anything more to you.
yeah, yeah,
How many times have you been talking to someone and you feel like you're talking to a brick wall?
for sure.
You don't want to keep talking. You just want to turn around and
Yeah.
go walk the other way. You don't want to keep talking to this
Yeah,
person. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying when you are
But now
being
the
spoken
question
to,
is, right?
mm,
Introverted people.
mm,
Some people genuinely want to talk with you, right? Like maybe they're like,
mm-hmm,
you know what? Like say an introverted person, you speak to them. Maybe they actually enjoy your company. They do want
mm,
to speak to you, but they're
mm,
introverted, so it isn't as easy for them to come out of their shell. Sometimes it
mm,
takes a while for them to get out of
mm,
their
Oh, little
shell
babies always
to
are out
to
of the shell.
start communicating with you, and it takes time for them to get to that point,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
the thing is,
Look,
mm,
I'm gonna say, based on
it's like,
that,
okay,
right?
do we just give up?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say okay, because an experience I had when I lived in the States, when I came back, and I think you can attest to this, like you saw the whole transformation. When I came back from the States, I
Yeah,
was
it
a
was
way
huge.
more extroverted person. I was like, I was even louder
Yeah,
than what I am
sure.
now.
Big.
My entire demeanor was
Yeah.
just, extroverted and out there. And the
Yeah.
thing is, that's really the mode or the method of communication that I adopted while I was there, because that's just the type of people
Yes.
that Americans, generally speaking, that's just the type of people that they are. They are extroverted people, and I adopted that. So what I
Yes.
found is when
mm,
when you adopt that type of demeanor or the culture, you tend to be more accepting of people. Therefore, you are able to communicate better with them because you realize, okay,
mm,
this person is okay. Say for example, they are introverted, right? You're not trying to change them for
mm,
being that way. You accept the fact that, okay, they are
mm,
introverted, for example. Let me approach the situation a certain way because of, the way that they are. I think you're more accepting of people. But
mm,
unfortunately, I grew out of it because South African people, I think, are more apologetic in nature. So, and they
mm-hmm,
are they're less extroverted people. As much as we think, our South African people are extroverts, not as close as what American
It's
culture
negative.
perceives it to be.
Negative.
But yeah,
I think
Negative.
one of the things are also like traveling overseas, you
mm,
realize that the people don't actually know you. Like nobody knows you,
yeah,
and in order to get something or get like maybe if from the simplest things like directions or things like that. Whereas when you hear like at home, people know your character and your
mm,
personality, so they are like they understand it more.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot, like just off what Shane was saying. First of all, it's a beautiful quality to be, to have traveled and been able to have learned from other people and apply your knowledge from there into your everyday relationships. I find that to be very beautiful.
Yeah.
And in regards to those people who are you've met who are brand new, like you've never met these people and they're introverted. First of all, don't force an introvert to talk. I'm an extrovert, and I have done that many times. And introverts have fought me multiple times. They have become extroverts just to fight me and tell me that I shouldn't be fighting with them to talk, which is the truth. And I've learned. Don't force someone if they don't want to talk. They don't want to talk. One of my friends, Faith,
Yeah.
this girl is just one of.
Hey,
She's
cloud
taught me
and
so
free, yeah,
much.
boy. Cloud isn't free. Cloud isn't free, yeah.
It's
Out
not.
here mentioning
I didn't
names,
drop
but
a
carry
handle.
on.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. But Faith has taught me a lot. She's really, really taught me
Yeah.
a lot. When I met her in uni, she really didn't talk. She didn't say nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Caleb, you gents know me from just even for this past few minutes. I've been talking.
Yeah.
So imagine sitting with a girl that literally does not want to say nothing. Nothing. She's so quiet. And she taught me that, sometimes you don't have to talk. That's a powerful thing. And I feel like a lot of you need to hear that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to
Facts.
talk.
Yeah.
Please.
Sometimes it's
For real,
okay to
bro.
be silent. Sometimes
I
it's
feel like,
okay to be silent.
people
Silence is a
be
lot, yeah.
things will be silent in a room. There will be silence in a room, and then someone just wants to say something about his kid who just got new diapers or something like that. Bruv, let's just, you know what I'm saying, bruv?
But
You
people
don't
like to
have
talk about
speak.
themselves,
We can
bro.
be quiet.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, bruv? And it's like, just in a room, sometimes, like Paul is saying, sometimes there is absolutely nothing wrong with silence in a room. Sometimes silence is the best treatment you can find there. But not when it's putting other people's lives or work in jeopardy. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it just takes it all full circle to what you were saying about, communication. Because if now you as a person have just decided to keep silent and not communicate your reasoning for being silent, like you can't just decide you're going to go silent and just go ghost.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go
Yo,
silent,
that's one thing
at
I
least
hate is a
respectfully
ghost.
understand that there are people around
Sure.
you that certain things are going to affect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it does affect people. It does affect the people that you're with, the people that you're around. So you need to let those people know. Whatever message or whatever way that you want to let them know, make sure that they get the message. And don't just
Exactly.
drop it on them for no reason. Just make sure that they understand that.
Like, at least be mature enough to communicate something. Like, say you can't show up to a place, right? Say I invite you, I don't know, for lunch, right? You can't make it for A, B, C, whatever, and like maybe something actually, something bad happened and you can't make it, right? Now I show up to the place, you don't show up, I'm trying to communicate with you, you're not hitting me back, my calls aren't going through, my texts aren't going through. Then I can find out, no, you just couldn't make it because of this, and that. Now the thing is, I understand that people, all of us, we all have responsibilities and things we have to deal with in our
Yeah.
lives. There are going to be certain places we can't show up to. There's going to be certain things that maybe we committed to that, like, remember, we always, whatever we commit to, we stick to. But there will be situations where we committed, but we won't be able to stick to, right?
Yeah.
But the least you can do is,
Yeah, and that's like,
get it and just like be like, okay, you know what? I wasn't able to make it. Just communicate. Just simply communicate and say, listen, I'm not be able to make it, or I won't be able to, or this is the situation. Like, come on, bruv. Like we said, this lack of communication is childish. It's a rookie move.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make big moves in life and you're still struggling with ghosting people and not communicating, you are not getting anywhere.
And like Josh was saying in the previous session, and this is something that I experienced myself and also that I had to learn the hard way, is that just as much as you can sow and reap good things, you can also sow and reap bad things. And me sowing bad
That's
communication,
so true.
I've reaped that as
We'll
well.
make it.
Yeah, I've seen
Yes, that's
myself.
true.
I've seen myself not only sow it, but I've seen myself reaping bad communication from other people as well. So I think it's such
Yeah.
an important thing to
Was
be
it?
aware, like I was saying, of what information you are or are not giving out.
Yes.
Just
I
Sean,
think
that's like Shane. Sorry, I said Sean.
Finnick,
Shane, that
bro.
was actually a powerful thing
Name's
you
on the
just said.
screen, famo.
Finnick. We'll just stick Finnick. Finnick. There we go. We got that. Got that. I'll stick to Finnick
Yeah.
because I was moving between Shane and Finnick, and then I got Sean. I don't know how, but
Everyone does
No,
it.
man.
no, no.
Just that's why I just
But
leave it
I
at
think
Finnick. Yeah.
but no, no, no. But
Okay.
I think we should clarify for the listeners though. Shane is a name which is Shane's name, which we
Government
call
name.
him if you know him personally. Yeah, it's his government name. If you know
ID
him
booklet.
Here we go, Paul.
personally, you call him Shane.
Paul
But
knows. Yeah.
if it's on if it's on social media or anywhere else, everybody calls him Finnick.
one day,
But if you know him personally,
just like I
it's
share
Shane.
my art and whatever I do on social media, one day I'll get into sharing the meaning behind Finnick. It's a whole long thing, but it's not about me right now. Let's
Yeah.
continue with the conversation.
Podcast episode 100. Episode 100, we're dropping it. I'm letting you know
For
that.
sure.
Episode 100, Finnick is coming to explain. But just going back to what you're saying, Finnick, in terms of like, sowing and reaping,
Yeah.
I feel like, in my relationships, I've learned that we need to be more aware of the fact that we are teaching one another things.
Yeah.
Subconsciously. We're
Right.
not even aware of
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
But we're picking up on habits and things that other people are doing.
For sure.
And whether or not we know it or realize it, we end up using that against them as
Yeah.
well.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
for example, if I'm a terrible texter, I am, not if, I am. Now, someone who texts me, and if let's say I don't respond to them for like 6 weeks, chances are,
What?
if I text them,
What?
they're not going to respond back to me, which is gonna be, that's what I read.
Of course,
That
bruv.
is
I will
exactly
not
what I read.
accept disrespect,
Exactly what
you
I
know.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But also,
so people need to.
One thing I love, what I really enjoy is people who understand. Like, listen, guys, we can be close friends, but we don't have to talk every single day for you to know you, my friend. So many people think, oh, we got to be communicating every single day, FaceTiming every day, texting every day for us to be friends and us to be
No.
homies. Listen, some of us have a lot going on in our lives. We have responsibilities, we have jobs, and we're working towards certain goals. Like, yes, we're friends, we get together, we have a good time, we can relate.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're all going to be busy on our own projects. And that's what you got to understand. You can't take it personally because sometimes, like, say a friend releases a project, yes, we congratulate him. But now I'm busy with my own thing right now. I can't be kissing your feet the whole time, telling you about, I don't know, the project or, just communicating every single
Yeah.
day. Like, I mean, Finnick and I, we are really, really close, but yet we talk so every few days. We check up. Look, I mean, my important thing is I think it's very important to at least check up on your close homies at least once a week. I think that's very important. But that thing of wanting to text every day, like we all have lives, man. We have things to
That's
get
so
through.
true.
We all have
Yeah.
things. But now don't be thinking just because I'm not speaking to you automatically that it's bad. But look, I also understand that sometimes people just don't communicate. And then it's like, okay, no, you're not my friends. I mean, there's some people who want to be calling me their friends and all that, but I haven't spoken to them since December last year. No, you're not my homie, bro. You're not my
Not my
homie.
homie. You're not my homie. I'm sorry. It just happened.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Exactly.
Just
exactly.
on what you were saying, Caleb, as you were talking, I just came to my realization that a lot of people, as they're probably listening to this podcast, on one hand, they're grateful that they're getting this information in terms of how to communicate, but on the other hand, they're just not realizing that a lot of the time, us as human beings can mistake our lack of communication or someone's lack of communication for isolation. There's a huge difference. And in the world that we live in, and even just personally, I've seen within my friendship groups and my relationships that are around me and in myself, that sometimes people not communicating is their form of crying out for help. Like, sometimes people don't have words to communicate. Like, that's one of the biggest things I've seen with a lot of people. So it really takes, like you were saying, reach out once a week. And I have to commend Caleb for this. And Finnick, you can also back me up on this. Like, Caleb has been a stand-up gent when it comes to, checking up on people. 100%. Sure. Like, when it comes to it, you'll either get a FaceTime, you'll get a text, you'll get something. He wants to make sure that he wants to just make sure where you are, make sure you're good, check up on you.
Okay, don't blow his head up now, bro.
Do. And I'm not gonna blow his head up, man. I'll humble him just now. Don't worry. I'll humble him now.
Yo, no. I'm quiet right now. You see, so I'm not saying anything.
I see that subtle smile, boy.
I'm just like, I'm just quiet. I'm just smiling. But I appreciate that, Paul.
Can't let your homies smile too long, right? Your homies can't laugh.
Yeah.
One compliment per year, bro.
Facts, bro. Not easy.
1 a year, dog. That's yours for the year, dog.
If I actually think of that, amongst all of us here, we actually all probably will only compliment each other like once a year. That's one thing about all of us here. Like, we don't really compliment each other. Like, we just like, what? Yeah, like you know that the love is there.
Bro.
But I appreciate
as long as it's once, then, like, for me, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's enough. But you
need to understand, us as homies, when it comes to like showing love, like they can be like you can dap someone up, you can greet them, you can respond on an Instagram post or on a WhatsApp story or an Instagram story. But when I myself am talking to you and I can see your face and I am talking to you from my heart, dog, that's some real stuff, and that only comes once a year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So take those times
and be aware.
Hold on to them till next year, dog.
For sure.
Now don't come next year, bro.
Till next year,
the only time we'll be complimenting people is when we're talking to women, bro. We don't compliment the homies. What are you talking about, bro? Negative.
But let me actually tell you something that I read a while back, right? And I might paraphrase it because I don't remember the whole thing, but it said something like, it's a post that I read, and it said something like, the reason why men fall so easily for women when they are complimented by them is because they're so starved for attention that whenever a woman pays attention to them, at least once, then it's so easy for them to just like go all in.
Yeah, like head over heels.
Yeah.
I put something on my status the other day. I think it was actually a very powerful thing, but that's just me gassing myself up. I was just saying how when it comes to giving people compliments, that's why I'm keeping talking and I'm not gonna elaborate more. But I'm just saying, when it comes to giving people compliments, just thinking it in your head doesn't make the other person hear it. Like, you need to let those words leave your mouth. If you see someone and you are proud of them and you are grateful for them in your life and you just see them just doing the most and you're so proud of them. Like, there's been so many times where, like, Caleb knows me from that I'm able to design. We were designing stuff back when we were in school. And when I see him designing stuff and it just blows my mind, I'm proud of him. That's some skill that not a lot of people even have. And
he shows the love. And I think that's what's so dope, it's showing the love. I mean, like, dude, look, I understand, like, if you're not, look, we're not around here walking around telling everybody, wow, this is so great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here to give out, like, in Drake's quote, I'm not out here to give out compliments to boost anybody's confidence. So the point is, the thing is, it's like, we as homies, we be complimenting each other, we show love, we show congratulations, right, to our homies, right? But it's not like we're going around everywhere, but it's so important that we communicate that. I mean, Finnick's sister, Sydney, hit 45k TikTok followers today on TikTok. And I congratulated her, and she's doing so well. I mean, the least you can say is congratulations. Finnick, I just saw like how he posted of his artwork that he's been working with. How long? Since like Jan?
Yeah.
Like he's been, like I mean, the least you can say is
I've not seen this
Shaka
artwork and
Sunflower.
I need to see.
He released. Yeah, you must go check that out. I mean, even Finnick.
You have
and
to
even
read the
Shaka
caption
Sunflower.
though.
Yeah, to understand.
I'm already on my Instagram. You're too late, dog. You're too late. I'm already reading it, dog. I've already scoped you out. Man was too
But I mean,
slow.
like,
I was on your account before you even knew I was on your account.
How about you give me a follow back there, Paul?
You follow me?
Talk about showing love to the homies.
Talk about showing love to the homies.
Wow, man, you don't follow me. There's no love here.
What?
There ain't no love here. I don't see follow.
What?
Man doesn't follow me. What is he?
What is this?
I'm
And
kidding.
we
Let
are
me follow
telling
this
people
boy.
to show love. Nah. But even the boy Shaka Sunflower, he
I just
released
followed
an album in the week, and I've been listening to that, so I'm able to give him some good feedback because I've been wanting to actually listen to it properly before I give him feedback. I don't want to just say anything. But the point is, but now do you notice all of us now Paul in a week releases this thing for the Travis Scott and Nike campaign, right? We all congratulate him. All of us are all busy with our own individual projects right now, right? All of us, we're doing our thing. And, that I think just that communication of saying, yo, congratulations, bro, or hey, how you doing? It's not like all of us here, we all don't talk every single day, but whenever we do talk, we always have a good time. We're able to put each other on game. We really... we're acquiring, that game from the conversations we're investing in. And I think that, is so important.
Yeah, for sure.
And I even wrote down tips for communicating effectively. And first I said, communicate relentlessly. Second, be simple and direct. I think so many people don't understand the power of simplicity.
For sure.
Sometimes you just got to be, concise and be like, okay, this is a situation and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't be beating around the bush and making a long thing. Like, get to the point. You know what I'm saying? People are also living their lives. They need to, and just be direct about what you got to say. Be direct about it. I'm not saying we always speak the truth in love, but we speak the truth. So be direct, be simple, and simplify it for real. And then also listen and encourage output is the third one. Because it's so important that as much as we're talking about communicating, we need to learn how to listen. Because a form of communication is listening. It is listening to what somebody else has to say, not to respond, but to understand. And that's where loads of people go wrong. They just be listening to respond so I can come back and say something, whether it's an argument or just so I can sound more intelligent than you.
Understanding should be wanted more than to be understood, for sure.
Exactly. So we need to be on the other end and be like, you know what, okay, I understand what this person's trying to communicate. I may not agree with what they have to say, but I'm listening to understand. And then 4, affirm with actions. It's so important. We're always talking about now communicating, but talk is still cheap. The thing is, we can only communicate so much. It's vitally important that our actions are louder than our words. Because the thing is, it's like
just perfect example, Caleb. I wasn't communicating well in this past week. I spoke to you about it, and what was it, yesterday or today? I texted you. I told you what's been up, what I've been dealing with, and after communicating, we are here recording.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of just me saying something in text. It's me showing up.
Exactly.
It's me showing up and saying, here, I am
and
here
that's
to be
the
a part
action.
of this.
I'm here. Exactly. And now that speaks louder than what you say. Because, a person can be like, no, I want to be a part of the project. Or no, I really want to be in your life. But their actions aren't showing it. They're walking in and out of your life. Or they aren't showing up to the project. They aren't pulling their weight. So, it's very important that our actions are louder than our words. And also you got to be a person of your word.
Finnick.
What's up?
Sorry, I'm just lost for words, bruh. I'm busy. Sorry, can we just take a pause for a moment? I don't know if you're listening to this right now. If you can like exit the app but still listen, go onto your Instagram, follow Finnick Dietrich right now. Go look at his latest post and please read that
Facts, bro.
caption because
Facts. Go read
this,
that caption,
I'm
bro.
telling you, Finnick, you don't know how powerful your caption is because I needed that caption. That caption spoke to me right now while I'm sitting right here. You don't even know the
It's
voice note I sent to
captivating.
Caleb, literally. You don't even know the voice note I sent to this man. And this
Wow.
whole caption speaks to me. It speaks to my heart. And that's not an easy thing. That's not an easy thing that just happens just daily. So I
Yeah,
just want to
yeah.
say thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that.
But
Thank you
also, that's a
for
form of
communicating that.
communicating on social media as
Yeah, I'm
well.
just being
Exactly.
obedient,
Finnick
bro.
is communicating and keeping it 100. Yeah, man. I mean, really, this guy is just, communicating on social media, and you never know who it can impact, man. For real, for real. You don't know. Like maybe you had something on your heart that you had to share. And remember, the communication isn't only with people that you're close to, but it's also even on social media. Communication is important because, and then also if you look at it again, where maybe you're captioning something, but your actions aren't, the same. It's so important. Like so many people even be tweeting things. They're just tweeting, but they aren't really like that in person. Acting like you're so real in person, but you aren't actually a real person so it's so important that your actions match up with what you say, and yeah, what you say matches up with your actions, for real. And also,
That's so true.
one thing that I found about communicating effectively, what could hold us back, is our
Yeah,
ego
Mm.
because I've found so many times that my ego has held me back, and I've lost so many battles to my
sure.
ego just because I couldn't put my pride aside and communicate, whether it's to a homie
Yeah.
or whether it's to a shorty that I was really feeling. You know one thing about me is, it's the worst thing is when you're feeling a shorty, but your ego won't allow you to admit it, bro. Your ego will
Dog,
not
you don't
allow
even
you to, bro.
understand. You don't even know, bruh. You don't even know. That sounds crazy. It'll
Ah,
eat gents
po,
alive. It'll
po,
eat gents
po.
alive. Gents will be eaten alive in their own crib, dog. They could be acting hard, so hard, but it's eating them, dog. Their own ego is eating them.
True,
They
true,
can't say
true.
nothing. They're busy trying to
Nah,
put this like persona of popping bottles of Hennessy in the club, and literally they just want to settle, dog.
Pride will
All
get
they
you
want to do
killed,
is sit
homie.
down
Pride will
and
get you killed.
stand, dog.
yo, for real. Because the thing is, it's like, and you find it so hard to communicate because, I mean, do you know how difficult it is for me to tell me I got feelings for you? I'm not gonna give you that privilege and that honor of knowing I have feelings for you. That's where
I
my
had to
ego
take a
steps
seat back for
in the
that one
way.
because that's a true. That was a true comment. I respect my man for saying that
Now I'm keeping it 100 with
think
you.
what
because that
it's
stuff's deep,
also
dog. It really
It's
hits
also like
home.
what we spoke
That's
about in the last session about it's like showing like a point of weakness in a way, and nobody wants to show like a point of weakness, And I think it's like ties in with honesty as well. If you just honest and communicate,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have to
I'm just
communicate with
I'm kind of
ourselves and
just
be
bringing
honest with
this.
ourselves.
Mm,
Yeah,
just
say?
on that note, Caleb, you actually just alluded to what I was about to say. As much as Josh, we need to be honest with other people. We also need to be honest with ourselves, and we also need to communicate
Yeah.
well with ourselves. Like one thing I noticed today is like I woke up this morning and it's a Tuesday. Took had my breakfast, came had a sat at my desk, and I realized, when you sit and you kind of like do a full self check, I feel it's important that everyone does this in the morning. Do a full self check. Make sure you're good. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you've taken your breakfast. Make sure you're just full, like you're awake. This is you. And I realized I wasn't feeling so great. I was feeling a bit down. I was not happy. I was not like really sad. I was just like, just not feeling today. I texted Caleb, sent him the message and everything. And even at that moment, I didn't even know if I was gonna show up to the podcast. Like I didn't even know we were gonna record.
Yeah.
Caleb sent me a message. He was just like, "We're gonna record at 4:30." Or I think it was 4. And the first thing I did is I texted him. I was like, "Can I join?" Because I knew that sometimes it's not about having to feel it. Sometimes your actions need to move first, and then your heart will follow.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
it's so important that that in the morning you'll wake up. If you don't feel like getting out of bed, get out of bed.
Yeah.
Go shower. Put on your clothes. Sit at your desk. Literally, once you get that mentality going, literally you will start feeling like you are able to do things. But when you
And I mean, you
just
realize-
sit back and just let yourself,
Yes.
And on that
100%,
point,
I
Paul.
think.
No, you continue, Josh.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, that's very true. We can't be like directed and guided by our feelings, because sometimes we maybe feel we wake up and we're feeling down, but then just getting done and starting work, then you realize, then you actually start feeling better and things like that, you know.
Or even when you communicate, because now, say you're not feeling well, now you come into a space and now you're on a Zoom call and you're on FaceTime with your homies, and now all of a sudden you're feeling really good. And also I think
here we
especially when you
are.
communicate your feelings, it's so important to communicate your
Yeah.
feelings. Find that confidant, that person that's next to you, and that person that you can hit up at any time and just be like, yo, dude, this is how I'm feeling. I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
This is what I'm battling right now. Sometimes even for them to be an ear to listen. Sometimes they don't even have to give you advice. Sometimes just that ear to listen to what you're going through.
For sure.
And I think sometimes you need to even just take the initiative and do it, and check in on your closest friends and see how they're doing. Because I think people won't really... I think one of the biggest things is people don't want to be, what do you call it, like a bother, or like bother you, you know. So but if you reach out to them, then they feel like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not... I'm not like, doing this.
Like,
Yeah.
like literally this week, yesterday, I hit up 2 dudes from school that I was with at school.
yo, put them on blast, bro. Put them on blast.
Ah.
I'm kidding.
So, I mean, I hit up 2 guys that I was with in high school, right? And we haven't spoken in the longest time. And I knew they wouldn't have hit me up. I already knew that. But I still took the initiative to hit them up and be like, yo, I'm just checking in on you, just making sure you're good. That's it. And they were so appreciative of it, because they were like, wow, I can't, that's so awesome. Thank you so much for actually checking up on me. I really appreciate it. It's just showing that love. I mean, I know we don't talk every day, but I'm just checking up, just making sure you're good.
Yeah, and I think that's also like one of the characteristics of a leader. And
Yeah.
you have to lead and like show and things. And that's like a whole nother podcast. We're
For
going to
sure.
talk on leadership
Yeah.
as well soon in the future. Yeah.
I think that
Sure.
also diminishes pride, eh? Because you can easily think, nah, they should be texting me first, or they should be
Sure.
I
checking
feel
up
like
on
I
me.
want the next episode to be called "Leading When You're Weak." But hey, let's just sit back. Let's sit back for this
Bro,
one. Hey, that's a whole
there's too
other-
many good, eh?
Woo!
There's too
Don't
many
even get
good
me.
podcasts.
It's gonna be too good.
There's so
It's
much
too
to
good.
talk about in life, eh? Like, there's so many
too
battles that we
much.
face every single day and everywhere, and we have so much to all improve on.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And that's why we have so many topic ideas. But, you're so right.
But also that you see,
Tonic, in
that's
terms
why
of
I
to
appreciate
handle.
like what you're doing, Caleb. Is because yes, when we might not know everything, but also what we do know, we can share, because not everyone knows what you
Absolutely.
know, and what you know might be
Absolutely.
able to help someone along the way because of your,
Absolutely.
just
Exactly.
because of you simply sharing. That's why I appreciate the platform so
Exactly.
much.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah, and
say,
you spoke about that in the
I
weekend.
got two things. First of all, me and Finnick need to stop being so nice to Caleb. We need to calm down on that one. Caleb's getting
that's
gassed
enough.
up a bit too much today.
Y'all,
That's enough
y'all
for today,
hate
dog.
me. Y'all hate me, bro.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Cut.
But the second thing I
Yo.
wanted to say, dog, is that I realized a lot when I was actually coming now out of I look back going in high school. I was just like, I was so focused on this whole thing about how people can see me, if people see me, whether or not I'm trying to be popular, this or that. That was what high school's about. Like, you're trying to make sure that not everyone's in your business. You're trying to show up like this type of person, and you're not really showing up as your true authentic
Yeah.
self. But the moment you move out of that, you move out of life and you show up as your true authentic self. I met people who are struggling with the exact same issues that you would never have guessed. Like, for example, people who are struggling with their mental health, people who are either just struggling with school, with work,
Yes.
balancing life. Like, these are issues that people don't talk about, with their anxiety, with stress.
And like I said before,
we
in
feel
order
so
for us to
vulnerable
move
about
out
it.
here, yeah, in order for us
People
to
feel so.
move forward
Go ahead.
out
Go ahead.
here, we have to have uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
We have to
That's
push the
true.
boundaries. We have to, and that's where we have to come out and communicate. And look, dude, we're not saying go out and speak to everybody about your feelings, because certain people have to qualify for that information.
Yeah.
But there's everybody needs that one person that you can go to and speak to, and they won't judge you.
Yeah.
They'll either give you advice, or they'll challenge you, or they'll correct you, or they'll even just be an ear to listen.
I mean, I also think, like, on that point, I think it's so important to be able to, communicate with yourself, because I feel like whatever we can do for other people selflessly, we need to be able to do it for ourselves first.
Perfect.
And when we're able to communicate effectively to ourselves, having that dialogue with ourselves,
Come on.
it'll be easier to
Come on.
to communicate effectively to other people.
Perfect.
And getting a point across that I can relate to you in the situation because I've been there. I think a lot of us, we try to talk from a place of
I'm telling.
I think a lot of us
Finnick, you're hitting all the right tunes, bro. All the right tunes right now.
this is just,
100%,
this is just the
right,
truth,
definitely.
bro. This is just the truth. I just speak truth.
I'm
Or at
telling
least
you.
I try.
Hey, man, keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah, man. I think we need to be, like I said before, we need to be open to people and accept them for who they are, and make them know that you're not going through this alone. But I think before that, like I said, before we can do that, we need to be open with ourselves first. We need to be willing to admit that we don't know everything, and actually sit down with ourselves and ask questions about our values, our characteristics, the principles that we live according to. And that, like, for me, like I said, I can only talk from a point of reference, and for me, that's what I've been going through, I think, for the past 2 years now, because when I came back from the States, from living in the States, I had so much information, and I could only share so much with my close friends, but I needed to sit down.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for like the past 2 years now, so I needed to sit down and actually listen to my thoughts, take in all the information that I've learned in that short period of time, and actually do and have effective communication with myself. And the thing is, it wasn't easy, because it was so much truth that I learned just staying there in that short period of time, that it was so much for me to
Yes.
digest. And I really had to sit down and ask myself questions about where am I going, what are my values, what do I
Communicate with
believe
yourself,
in,
yeah.
is it true, who taught me this, why do I believe in it. And I think one of the things that
So
I
many
learned,
questions, yeah.
one of the things that I learned, and I mentioned this to Caleb actually, I don't want to take it too far back now, but one of the things that I learned that was actually taught to me on pride was that, you know, even though I was an introverted guy, it was almost like I never. It was that humble pride that I had. It was that. It was that pride. It was that pride that you mistake for
Yeah.
humility. You know, like I was always that that guy who observed from like a certain corner or whatever. Not to sound like a pedophile, but I was always the guy. I was always the guy that would just that would just observe for the most. And you know, when people would approach me, I would have that humble pride, and they would be like, "Oh, this guy, you know, he's such a chill guy and whatever." But on another level, I was like, because I'm able to observe you guys moving faulty, I felt like I was, you know, above the people I associated myself with. But because I was in association with them,
Yes.
you know, we were all on the same level. But I never saw that, and that was that humble pride that I had. I came to terms with that. I had to deal with it. It wasn't easy. It was a hard pill to swallow. And I just think that's what you get from effective communication, even with yourself. And yeah, the more you're able to like unravel the truth, which is by first finding the lies within yourself, the easier it is for you to communicate effectively with other people.
Yes.
So yeah, man,
Yes.
I feel like it's
Yo,
Gotta communicate with
it's a
this.
long.
yo,
Sorry, that was just the door.
let's just pause for a second. Caleb, when you're editing this, I want 15 bombs, dog. 15 after what he just said. 15. 15 bombs,
Okay.
dog.
Say
15
less.
bombs.
Say less.
15
Say
bombs,
less.
bro. I don't care. 15. Finnick, you don't know.
Look, man,
you are
this
educating.
guy
You are
just went
educating
off.
people
Nah,
out
for real,
here.
for real.
You are
Mandem just
educating
went
people.
off.
There's a do you understand how people are lying to themselves? Like, we all do this, and we all find a way to do it in such a way that we are able to lie to ourselves about lying to ourselves. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Tell
Yeah.
ourselves,
yeah.
nah, it's fine, it's okay. We don't really need to worry about this. That's not the type of person I am.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
I get, personally,
Yeah.
literally, this past week, not even this past week, a couple hours ago, I was trapped up in that mindset because I was in a headspace of, hey, I'm stuck here. This is what I'm going through. This is the problem. But I might as well just accept it and let's not deal with it. But when you approach that issue head on, like just
Yeah.
hearing you speak about how you went through that phase of dealing with humble pride is actually so powerful because it's opened my own eyes to see where I've been messing up, like in terms of my own communication,
Yeah.
in terms of my own my own mental health, in terms of my own just how I carry myself, how I speak to myself, how I analyze my thoughts.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
not only have you spoken to me, but a lot of our listeners, like just in this past few minutes that you were talking. So on behalf of the listeners and me, thank you. Thank you for that, Finny. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that was
Bless
really
up.
good, man.
You can thank the truth, bro. Thank the truth.
Don't get a big head. Don't
Yeah,
get a
no.
big head. You
Please,
over there. Yeah,
No
get a big-
stumble vibes.
Nah, but you know, guys, as we come to a close, it's just so important in order for us to avoid confusion, we need to learn how to communicate. It's so important for us to learn how to communicate. Not only communicating with others, communicating with ourselves. How are we feeling today? What's happening?
Yeah.
And sometimes not even accepting how we're feeling. Like sometimes, listen, as much as we communicate with ourselves, sometimes we have to be like, no, I'm gonna tell you, like how Finnick always says, the one time he got a cut and he said, "Now I told that thing to close up. It's my body. I told it to close up. It's my
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
I'm alpha.
definitely.
I'm alpha. I told that cut. I said to that cut, listen, you're gonna close up now." And that thing closed up, bruv. Real fast. Real fast. But the point is, you are in control of your life, guys. You gotta be able to communicate with yourself, know how you're feeling, communicate with other people, learn how to we're not in 2020, 2021, we are not going around the same mountain of ghosting people, not communicating how we feel, just going silent on everybody, even silent on ourselves, and not sure how we feel personally, and not communicating with ourselves. So guys, we really hope that
Just on
you
that
learned
note,
something from
just
this.
ending
Yeah,
off
yeah.
on that note, Caleb, I just wanted to say that a lot of people, just even when it comes to talking to yourself and communicating with yourself, it just starts with you just sometimes you can get wrapped up in your thoughts. Take a notebook, take your phone, notepad, all the things that you need to self-check within
For
yourself,
sure.
write them out.
Yeah.
Write them out so you
Definitely.
can see
Write your
them.
conversations
Because
out with yourself. Yeah.
more often than not, there's more things I'm worrying about than actually exist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was a revelation for me.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even for y'all. I wasn't even giving it to you, gents. It was mine to take home today. It was mine to
Yeah,
take home today.
yeah.
Sometimes I'd be stressing over things that aren't even mine to stress about. Imagine if you wrote down all the things you're stressing about. You'll realize half that list doesn't even belong to you. Doesn't even have your name on it. Cut it out. Cut it out. Do yourself a favor.
Man.
Take
Bro.
care of yourself.
And I mean, I think it's so good that I find that it's so important. I literally have a notepad. My notes is one of my favorite apps on my phone. And I take note of everything, whether I'm listening to a podcast or whether I'm listening to a message. Whenever I'm even reading a book, I literally have a notepad and a highlighter and a pen to write out what, stands out for me, right? So I think it's so important that we communicate with ourselves, and even when you're communicating with yourself, take notes for real. But guys, as we come to a close, first of all we want to say thank you so much to the Group Sessions family. If you are subscribed, if you're listening on the regular, if you're engaging with us, you are part of the Group Sessions family. The reason why we have Group Sessions is we are a group that comes together. We have a session and we talk about how we're feeling or current affairs, and for all of us to be able to move forward with all different perspectives. Everybody has a different ideology, a different background, but this is how we do it. And we're so grateful to everybody who has joined already. And if you're listening to this far in the podcast, you are literally a loyal listener. So we just want to say thank you for that. Make sure if you are really enjoying the podcast, invite more of your friends and your family members to join the Group Sessions family. Invite them. Don't be stingy. Come on. Don't be stingy. Let them know what's up. Let them know where the podcast is at, where we're meeting every Friday. New podcast session. And just as well, let us know your opinion on each session. Whatever you're feeling and you're having a good time and you're like, okay, now I have my opinion on this, let us know. You don't have to agree with us. We're not asking you to agree with what we're saying. Let us know your opinion on today's topic of communication kills confusion. Really, really, really just join us and let us know how you feel and how you communicate and your stories and your testimonies of how you've communicated with others. Go follow us on Instagram at the Group Sessions Pod, Twitter at the Group Sessions. Twitter at Group Sessions. Follow us there. Follow us on our personal accounts. I'm Caleb Holland. I'm Joshua Holland. At Paul. Paul, what's your tag actually, bro?
It's at Paul Give. Just take away the L, my G. Take away the L. Paul Give. But just take away the L. There's no L in Paul.
Okay, say less.
Paul Give.
But it will be somewhere there in the description. And then also Shane at Finnick Didrik. Go check us out on social media. Tag us in your story post, even our personal pages. Tag us, and we're able to repost it onto our stories, give us feedback. We're so excited to engage with y'all on this topic. Now, for the rest of the week, we're gonna put up the tips on great communication skills. We're gonna put up loads of content this week after you've listened to this podcast. Just so follow us, turn on post notifications so you stay in tune with that. Once again, thank you so much to Finnick Didrik for joining us in the session.
And in conclusion, enjoy level 4. We are in level 4 now. You are allowed to
Don't be irresponsible though, bro. Don't be irresponsible, bro.
Yeah, no. Stay safe, but
Thank you so much, guys, for listening to the Group Sessions podcast. I've been Caleb Holland.
I'm Joshua Holland.
And our special guest. Who you at? Who are you, bruv?
1 million takes.
Who are we?
Finnick Didrik. We out. Thanks, y'all.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.